Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. Just going to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks has a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you had a great weekend and that you're having a good week so far. Lots going on in the market, so with that, let's get straight into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. I deem the Russell to be perhaps the most rate sensitive of the indexes, so as long as it's moving higher, I'm adding new names to my watch list, and when it's not, I'm getting defensive. I also like to step back and take a look at things from a bigger picture point of view. So we're looking at this from the 5-year monthly chart point of view. And we are looking at the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000. So big picture chart, these are monthly candles. You can see that it kind of bottomed here in early 2016, had this beautiful run higher, and has since come in with that sell-off that we experienced through the latter part of 2018 and in December, but look at January's candle. Bounced right off our short-term area of support. You can see where I drew this line in because price consolidated back here for such a long time and then lifted from that area. This light blue line down here is more long-term support resistance, so I'm just ignoring it for now. So look, big bullish candle for the month of January, and so far we are starting the month of February off with a nice looking candle as well. Very early days and lots going on, so this could change abruptly, but good to see. The only indicator I have on my chart is this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. I use this 8-day as my guide on the daily, weekly, and monthly charts. So let's swap it over from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And let's see what we can see. So I've been talking lately about this area in here being a possible area of resistance. You can see that we're pretty deeply into that area already. And so I'm being kind of cautious in this area because it offered so much resistance back here and price fell that I want to be sort of on alert for this being resistance over in this area as well. So I've got to be sort of two minds, one that says, hey, the market is still going higher, so I am going higher with it, but also recognizing that this was an area of difficulty over here, and it might offer some resistance going forward. I hope that's clear. Anyway, we're using this 8-day EMA as our guide, so as you can see, we lifted off that purple line of short-term support resistance, and we are now up and through the 8-day EMA on the weekly chart. We consolidated for a little bit, and here's where we are right here, right now. So let's go take a look at it on the shorter time frame. Let's go look at it on the 6-month daily. As you can see, price stayed true to our 8-day. Looks like the markets are getting off to a little bit of a stronger start this morning. Not super strong, but strong still, and that this strength is continuing. We'll see how the day ends. And again, we're coming into that area where I'm just going to be pretty vigilant about how things go. So that's the look at the Russell. So with this looking strong and in this uptrend, I'm going to highlight a chart for you this morning. And the chart that I wanted to feature for you this morning is Texas Instruments, ticker symbol TXN. It trades on the NASDAQ exchange. Before I get into the chart, let me tell you a little bit more about Texas Instruments. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with it. They are a very large semiconductor company. They've been around for a very long time, based out of the US. Like any chart I ever put forward at Chart of the Day Cafe, it's got really nice fundamentals underneath it with a nice value score along with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 18%. A current PE of 18.34 and a dividend yield of 3.34%. So with that, let's get back to the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly. You can see that Texas Instruments is sitting at this area of support. We had a strong month of January with a little bit of a wick here. Wasn't quite able to do a fully bullish engulfing candle for the month, but sitting at an area that I think is interesting right here, right now. So you want to note, like the Russell Index, in an uptrend since early 2016. Like everything else, it's sold off and looks as though in a continued strong market environment, and that is a big if. We are up and over that orange line of support and resistance. With those scores, I would expect Texas Instruments in that rising market environment to do well. So we'll see, only time will tell. Let's move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And as you can see, Texas Instrument had this nice strong move to regain that orange line of support resistance. Really bullish candle, beautiful bullish candle several weeks ago. It's been consolidating sideways, so I like it in this area here. Let's move it away from the weekly to the daily and really zoom in. But before I do, I want to note that price is up and over that 8-day EMA. I'd like to see that. So here we are at our orange line of support resistance. This is the daily chart, so these are daily candles. Here's that nice strong move that brought us through, consolidated, and we had a bullish candle the other day. We'll see if price strength can come back into this and lift us off this area here. I kind of like the doji yesterday. So in a continued strong market environment, my expectation would be that this price strength continues and we start to move up and off this area. We will see, time will tell. I'm going to put a little green circle there and say I need to see lift. Let's talk about the 3 and 8 because I sometimes mention that. I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but mine is when we get a 3 and 8 EMA cross. Oops, sorry, my computer's giving grief. Come on, little computer. Oops, let's try that again. 3 and 8. So what I like to see is the 3 EMA, which is the pink line, cross above the blue at an identifiable area of support. So I can identify this as short-term support. The pink is already over the blue. We've got a little bit of a squeeze here, but I just want to see that price strength continue and these moving averages start to tick higher here. I hope that's understandable. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that I'm looking at SMH, the ETF for the semiconductor space, 5-year monthly chart. Like the rest of the market, pretty much bottomed in 2016, had this beautiful run higher, sold off with everything else, but had a positive month of January. It is now up and over the 8-day EMA on the monthly and showing strength. Having said that, it's coming into an area that may offer some resistance because it's right in this area here, but keeping an eye on it as long as it stays bullish, I'm good with that. Along with that, I like to look at seasonality as well, and for that I go to equityclock.com, a really excellent site. And as you can see, we're looking at the seasonal chart for Texas Instruments in this beautiful uptrend. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always good to know. I also like to spin over to FinViz. This is the company page for Texas Instruments. I want to see if I've got analyst support for my watch list pick, and as you can see, a lot of companies have recently reiterated their positive stance towards Texas Instruments, so I'd like to see that. One of the articles on FinViz is this one by Barron's. These 3 chip stocks have plenty of upside, so I will include a link to this article. Of course, one of those companies is Texas Instruments. With today's video, you just have to look for it in the show notes. And so to quickly recap, I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the Russell is in an uptrend with price currently up and over that 8-day EMA on both the daily, weekly, and monthly chart. So I'm checking that box. Having said that, we note several times we're coming into an area that may offer some resistance, so we're going to be extra careful. We looked at the semiconductor ETF, SMH, and we note that on the 5-year chart, it had a positive January and is now up and over that 8-day EMA on the monthly. We want to see that strength continue. We looked at the chart for TXN, 5-year chart, had a fairly bullish month of January and is at an area of possible price strength continuation. Texas Instruments has a good value score, a good growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 18%, a current dividend yield of 3.34%, and it does have that 3 and 8 EMA daily cross I look for. It's consolidating. I want to see lift from here. It's got seasonal favor, analyst support, a current PE of 18.34, and it looks as though their next earnings are on April 23rd. I want to thank you for watching today's video and remind you that they go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Have a great rest of the week. We'll see you Thursday.